Okay.
Oh, it's recording. Okay. Alrighty. Hey, everyone. This is Monique. Thank you all so much for tuning in my YouTube channel. And I will be interviewing someone, a very special guest. She is a author and a law of attraction coach from Sydney, Australia. Her name is Agnes Vivarelli. What's going on, Agnes?
Hello, Monique.
Thank you so much for coming in to my YouTube channel.
My pleasure. It's nice to be in the other seat for a change.
I know. Yeah, because a month ago you had interviewed me
Yeah,
about the same person. So now I am interviewing her this
yeah,
time.
yeah. Why not?
So yeah. So when did you first started to apply law of attraction of anything that you want in your life? When did you first started?
When I first started, I didn't realize it at the time, but it was in the 70s when I was I was around with my mum. My mum was listening to Louise Hay, and I remember thinking, oh, this is absolute crap. My mum would have it playing and I'd be rolling my eyes going, oh, what is this? Anyway, years later, I got a tumor on my tongue and the doctor told me to get it removed. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. And I remember him running after me saying, you're a stupid girl. That's going to grow every 90 days. And I remembered then, I thought, okay, well, that stuff that I listened to way back then when I was really young, I'm going to apply it now. So that was my first, and I was if I remember correctly, I was 28, 29 at the time and then I dissolved that health condition. And then that was my first thing. After that, I was reading, a lot of law of attraction books. My first law of attraction book ever was from Florence Scovel Shinn, and she's got lots of books, but there was a compilation book and it had The Game of Life and How to Play It, and it had, I think, 2 or 3 other books of hers. They were all together, and I read that. And she was really big on affirmations, and I remember thinking, I've got to think like this. Like, I thought, how am I going to think like this? How am I going to think like this? I can't think like this. Anyway, so that was my next book. And then everything fell apart when I was reading that book. It was like that book came to me before everything fell apart, which was really good. Like I was in like a heap of debt. I was overworking because I couldn't take days off. Even when I was sick, I had to go to work because I didn't have enough money because I was in debt. So I felt trapped in terms of I can't even look after my health because I have to look after my money first. And it was just this horrible, I just felt like I couldn't breathe. So that was the next thing, was just reading Neville's book, The Law and the Promise. And that book I read about 28 years ago as well. And that was when I started reading those really amazing stories. And I remember thinking at that time, wow, these stories are so good. They're ordinary people. They're no one, they're not celebrities. They're not really rich people. They're just everyday people like you and me. And so it ended up that because of that, I started thinking, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And then I started reading very specific stories in that book that were exactly the same scenarios of where I was struggling in different areas. And I would read it and I would highlight it and I'd go, okay, I've got to do that first. I have to do that first. And I would start to apply it step by step by step. And eventually, as I read that book, and I remember I couldn't even sleep in the night. Like I would read that book and it was like this whole electricity would go through my body and I was on such a high. I'd go from feeling really horrible to feeling like really energized and really electrified reading this book.
Okay.
And so that book, especially the story about the doctor and his wife, and there was other stories in that book that were great, but that story in particular, I would have read that 100 times and I'd go through the mechanics of how they did it and I would apply it to my situation. And eventually, over the years, all my debt disappeared, money in the bank, much better jobs, went from doing jobs I didn't like to creative jobs. You know, I had a dance show that toured schools. I worked for Walt Disney, freelancing, painting the cartoons. Then I ended up, working in homeware stores, and I ended up doing the job that I loved, which was doing all the displays and the styling in the homeware stores across all these different shopping centres across Sydney, Australia. So, everything started to improve. And then I thought, wow, this stuff's amazing. I'm going to keep applying it. So that's kind of a little umbrella of how it started and where it got applied, to money, work, and health, as you know, with the tumor. And then on and on, it went on to relationships and travel and lots of other things over the years. I was able to expand my mind to have bigger desires, bigger goals, and bigger, now moving around to different countries, working wherever I like, working on YouTube and being free. And, I was never free. I was really trapped. And I kept saying to myself, you're trapped, you're trapped, you're trapped, you're trapped. And it was like, okay, I was living more of that, more of that, more of that, more of that. So now, my affirmation is I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. And I say that all the time. And I don't need to say it as much because now I believe it.
Yeah. And you living witness in it.
yeah. It's possible.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's true. Yeah, because I think that's how I got started with law of attraction myself. I think I was like 28 or 29, like you were when I first got started. My first book was The Secret. Law by Rhonda Barnes. So that's how I first got started. So all right. I'm too busy talking about myself.
No, it's fine.
Next question. Yeah. Too busy. I'm like, half of them know the story, so I'll put a link in of my story about my specific person on there on the description, along with yours anyway.
Yep.
My next question is, when did you decide to become a law of attraction coach and start your own YouTube channel, that started to help everyone, everyone in the whole world out. Yeah.
That's a good question. Well, it's interesting because when I read that book, The Law and the Promise, and everything, was not good, I remember thinking, wow, this book is so good. And it's not about theory. It's about practical, everyday people. And I thought one day I'd love to write a book where I share stories, but that they're because Neville's books were written in the 40s and 50s, that I could write something that was current to our time on the planet. So I thought I think it was 2009, I wasn't using YouTube. I wasn't even using the internet much. I was just using email. I wasn't on YouTube. I wasn't using Facebook, any of that stuff. So what I decided to do was I thought, okay, I'm going to start writing my own stories. And I had this thing in my head. I wanted 30 stories of manifesting something. And I wanted to write what I wanted, because I started with me, what I wanted, what law of attraction stuff I used to get there, and how long it took me to achieve it. Because I remember when I read The Law and the Promise, I remember thinking, oh, this is really good, but how long did it take people? Because at that time, how long was important to me. And in some of the stories, it would say it took 3 weeks, it took 6 weeks, and that was good, but not all the stories would say it. So I thought, okay, when I write my book, I want to write what the person wanted, what they did to get it, law of attraction, Neville, whatever techniques they used, and also how long. Wanted to know how long. So in those days, not on Facebook, not on really the internet that much. It was 2008, 2009. I thought, okay, I'll just have to do it by word of mouth. I'll just ask people. I'd actually written all my stories, and I thought, okay, I've written 4 or 5. I need a lot more to hit 30. I'm going to have to ask people. So I had my law of attraction friend. She had a really good story. I asked her. Then I had another friend that I was talking to about the law of attraction. She manifested something. So I said, hey, can I write your story? And then I would just you know, I'd meet people and people would say, oh, what do you do? And I'd say, oh, well, I do this, and I'm also writing a book. Oh, what's the book about? It's about stories. Oh, my auntie's manifested, you know, she won $1 million on lottery, or she, you know, created this amazing trip after 10 years of wanting it. So people would sort of come, and slowly, very slowly, the stories would come about. So that book took 5 years to write because it was all word of mouth. I had to wait. Now, so that was the first thing. The second thing was, I thought, oh, I'm getting really tired physically in my job. I'm lifting furniture. I'm moving, you know, couches, wardrobes to do all these homewares displays. I was getting older. My body was getting tired. And I thought, I can't keep doing this. I need to do something else. So I started looking for another job. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew I loved this, but it was too physically demanding. So while I'm doing this, I'd been reading, you know, law of attraction stuff for a long time. I had my friend that we do our 3 questions. You know, we do our law of attraction conversation, our questions. We talk about Neville. We talk about sharing YouTubes. By this stage, we started to watch YouTube a little bit. We were still getting most of our law of attraction information from physical books. So we'd go to the bookshop and we'd buy the same book. We'd read it. We'd highlight it. We'd talk about it. So then YouTube starts getting more known. I can't remember. It started in 2000 and something. It was 6 or 7. YouTube started, and I started to watch little bits and pieces. Yes, Rhonda Byrne's book came out, The Secret. She's from Australia. So, of course, over here, everybody knew about it. And then it was a case of, oh, really like this subject. So I got online, and I while I'm writing my second book, the first book went to print, took 5 years, and then it went up on Amazon and you know, wasn't selling very well because no one knew who I was. No one really cared what I did. You're just a beginning person. No one knows. So, but it was a successful thing for me because I knew it took quite a bit of work. It took 5 years because it was word of mouth. It took a long time to collect the stories. So book 2, by then I'm on Facebook. So I just put a post on Facebook. Hey, I'm writing a book. I need stories about this. You need to answer these 3 questions. If you know anyone or you have a good story, just send it to me via email. So that book only took like a year or 2 to put together because you're connecting with the globe, and it was much faster to get it happening.
Right.
So while I'm writing the second book, I injured my back. If I've got the chronological right, maybe I'm mixing it up, but I think around that time, I injured my back at work. I didn't find another job quick enough. I'd lifted too much furniture, and my back said that's enough. So before that happened, I was looking at law of attraction courses online, and I thought I'd really like to do some learning about this. And if I do it online, I can do it whenever I want. I can fit it in around my work or whatever I've got to do. So I found one, and it happened to be in Australia. And I did this course for, I think it was a year and a bit, and you had to do lots of homework. And then we had like this, we would get on Zoom and do calls, but it was with people all around the globe, and we would do meditation or, you know, we'd talk about Ho'oponopono, or we'd talk about, you know, whatever EFT or whatever it was that we were learning on that day. So I did that course for me to understand more about the law of attraction, to understand more about using it for myself. And then it was like we had to practice on each other, this coaching thing. So I had all my people in the course. We got together as a group in Sydney because there was about probably 6 of us in that course that were from, you know, parts of Australia and lots of us in Sydney. So we started to physically meet about once every 3 months, and we'd talk about where we were at. And then part of my course was doing you either had to rewrite a book in your own words, which I thought that sounds so boring. I'm not doing that. The other thing was you can do some YouTube. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll start some. YouTube sounds quicker. It sounds faster. It sounds like more fun. So I just hopped on and did, I think, 10 top tips for this or 10 top tips for that. I was just doing basic, nothing very fancy. It had to be simple. It had to be, because I wasn't comfortable on video. I didn't know what I was doing. So it was a case of just making it as simple as I could. And then that became the beginning of my YouTube channel. I remember I did a series called Law of Attraction for Dummies, which was like those books that they write for computer people. You know, learn computers for dummies, learn this for dummies. And I remember thinking, I'm going to do Law of Attraction for Dummies. So I just started with that. And then I don't think I did much after that. I left it and didn't do anything. Then I started another course, which was a marketing thing. And I'm not going to mention who they are because I don't recommend them. I did a marketing thing where I did a YouTube component and I learned more about YouTube in there. I could have learned that on YouTube for free. I didn't have to pay them. I could have gone directly to YouTube, and I know that now. You can get all that stuff for free. So I did 90 YouTubes in 90 days. And I set, a plan. I wrote what subjects I was going to do. That's when I started doing the Neville Nuggets, which are on my channel, which explains Neville in more simple English. So that's how it started. And then it was really just a hobby. It was something I did for fun because I liked reading Neville. I liked explaining the mechanics of how Neville works. And then I loved manifesting stories. So I would read some of the books, stories that I had written. I did them on audio because I know some people like to read, but some people don't have time and they like to listen while they're on the go to work or whatever. So it started with that. And then one day I just said to people, if you've got any suggestions or any requests about what you'd like to listen to. So then I got like about 25 ideas from other people, from the viewers on the channel. And I only had about 800 subscribers or something then. I didn't have a lot. So that's how it started. Then it started off, viewer questions. Then it went into, as you know, interviews with people about the success stories. It went into success stories about relationships, specific person, dream job, how to manifest more money, health, whatever it was. And then the tree started to get more branches. And then the channel started to expand. And then recently, because meditations are one of the most watched things on my channel, I thought it's time for me to learn about how to get royalty-free music, how to look at the copyright and all that stuff. And now the second channel, which is meditations only, has just begun in the last probably 4 weeks. So yeah, it's like things just started as very much an interest, then a hobby, then hey, I really like this. And let's see if we can give people some relief through sharing stories and sharing techniques. Right. And then it became a business. So that's it.
Yeah, that's really good because, a lot of people love, success stories, from, people. And also it not only, it'll help them out, it gives them hope. Yeah. They will say to themselves, okay, if that person could do this, then so could I. Yeah. And that's how. And it's like, Monique, like when I started, there was no YouTube, there was no social media in those days. So I started with reading Neville's book, which gave me hope, and it gave me something to do with my mind, like to learn how to be different mentally. Right. And then it's like now you've got YouTube, you've got Facebook groups on specific subjects, Neville groups, Law of Attraction groups, all that stuff. So you can go into exactly what you want to go into. So all that stuff, it's like it gives people relief and hope, as you say. Yeah, that's true. And let's say that, a person, a specific person, had just broken up with them, or their specific person just broke up with them, and, they just a hot mess. And, they so overwhelmed, they don't know what to do. And, they did some research, about Law of Attraction, and then, and then they come to your channel and look at your videos. And what will be the best advice that you want to give to a person, that want to manifest their ex or their specific person back?
Well, I think the thing that I see again and again, people saying the law of attraction doesn't work, or I can't get what I want, or and the thing is, if you're not doing the self-love stuff for you, that stuff doesn't work, because your whole foundation isn't set. It's got to be, you've got a foundation, and then you build on top of that. I think Neville's imagining creates reality works really well, But I do think when it doesn't work for people, it's because they're still trying to get. You got to get out of get mode. You got to get into giving mode. And to get into giving mode, you have to have a good foundation. So you got to be looking after yourself really well with sleep. If you don't get enough sleep, you're grumpy. If you're grumpy, you're negative. If you're negative, you're not going to manifest what you want. It's that simple. People think sleep's not that important. It's really important because it gives you a clearer head. You got to drink water. If you're dehydrated, you get grumpy too. If you don't eat proper food, your body's not running at an optimum level, you get grumpy as well. And if you don't exercise, again, those are all physical things we need, but those physical things help your state of mind. So if you lay that foundation, the physical stuff you need to do around self-love is the first rung on the ladder. Then the next rung is you got to get your mind straight, which is looking at what you think. So you got to think differently. You got to learn to think differently. So meditations help with that. There's lots of them online. Self-love meditations about what you want to manifest specifically. I think that's important. There's plenty of relationship and specific person meditations out there. Louise Hay in particular is good. She does a lot of self-love stuff. In those days that I listened to, you know, her stuff because there wasn't a lot around, but now there's a lot more. So it's important, I think, to lay that foundation. And then when you do Neville's stuff, Imagination Creates Reality, or you do Esther Hicks stuff, Get in the Vortex, you know, the art of allowing, all the stuff she talks about, it's like they're kind of pieces of a nut. They go together, but you have to have that foundation because otherwise you're still trying to, I have to get that so I can be happy. No, you have to be happy first, as Esther says, and then you get that, whatever it is. And in this case, we're talking about a relationship. So, yeah, neediness and longing and desperation does not get you what you want. It gets you the absence of what you want. You'll end up with the absence of the person there. So you've got to fix. It's never really between you and a relationship or you and another person. It's always between you and your lack of self-love. And that goes out and it gets photocopied back to you, as we've talked about many times. But yeah, if you can remember three things: self-love first, remember that everyone's you pushed out. So whatever's in front of you, and if it's the absence of a person, that's something that you're thinking, feeling, and believing. So that needs to be changed. That's the second thing. And then living from the end result. Instead of thinking about the problem, you got to think about the solution. You got to live from the emotional place of the solution. That you can do those three things, you can forget everything else. Those three things are three pillars of the umbrella of the law of attraction.
Yeah, exactly. And obsession is not good either. Like if they check, you know, their specific person on social media, like their Instagram, Twitter, you know, things like that, and they see something and then they get the bus out and cry like, I can't believe they're doing this to me. You know, this and that. Let me be like, okay, why the hell you went to, you know, their social media page? I mean, come on. If you want to find out something like this, hey, that's what you get.
Well, and the thing is,
and don't be stalking them, you know, at their job either. I heard some people stalking their job. Either if they go to the gym, if they praying that they see them, you know, things like that, and also they see the person that looks like them, or they say, can I go to that person? Like like Martina that I mentioned on our video, which that's kind of crazy. I know it, but I'm not gonna mention the person, you know, the name. I'm like, for real? Seriously?
Well, that's all about neediness.
I
gotta get something from you. You're my oxygen tank, and that's what's really, honestly, if you're doing that, you're never going to get what you want. The person's going to go, you're repulsive, get away from me. Your energy is
they'll probably tell you like, okay, this person is crazy as hell. I can't, you know.
Exactly right.
Deal with that, like, oh no. So you wonder, right? Why I've been contact with this person? Why this person, you know, spoke to me, and also communication is another thing.
And what I was going to say about social media, if you're getting on social media to look for evidence of something, you are in I'm second best. You don't go looking for stuff if you're feeling good about yourself. You think you get away with it, but you don't, because what happens is it pushes out, projects out, I'm second best. I don't trust. I'm looking for evidence of something about another person, a third party. If you're doing that, your energy is not creating a good relationship. You've got to start the good relationship from your behaviors and your actions. And if you are in that state and you're tempted to go and do that, you're better off going, you know what? I'm in second best right now. I need to go and do meditation and practice my I am first best, and I'm loved and I'm wanted and I'm secure and I'm supported and I'm deserving and I'm worthy, instead of doing that.
Yeah, that's true. And also, like, I have, a few people email me about like communication, like, oh, I email my specific person or call or text, and like a few days they haven't called me back, like couple of days, like, okay, like, did I do something wrong? Like, what's really happening? Like, why I haven't, heard from this person, this and that.
Yeah. Desperation. You have to love me so I can feel good. You have to love me so I can feel good. You have to love me so I can feel good. If you're doing that, you're screwed. You can't get what you want when you're in that state. You can't.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And you also need to put in a positive perspective. Like I told them, like, maybe that person is busy, or maybe they out of town, or maybe their phone got cut off or something, they not, forget about you, they just.
Yeah. And they're not there for you. They're not on the planet for you. I just did a YouTube yesterday about men and women.
Yeah.
And it does apply to, gay couples, or what, it doesn't have to be just male and female. But it's that thing of, if you are pursuing someone and you think that they're just there for you, you got some really serious misconception going on in your head. People aren't there just for you. They're there to live their own lives and to have their own experiences. And yes, they can be there with you, but it's got to be a give and take. It can't be you just trying to take from someone and that they're there for your existence. That's just not, that's not right.
No, it's not.
Because it brings me back to Morty Lefko. I know I've mentioned Morty a few times, but he does that fantastic YouTube called Stop Your Suffering. And you and I can put the link down to that after we upload this. But that very YouTube about something happens and you think that what you think about it is correct, it's not always correct. You're assigning meaning to it from what you think, feel, and believe. And you could be totally wrong. There are many meanings to what someone does. Like exactly the example you gave. If someone doesn't call you back, they could be busy. They could be at work. They could have their child they're looking after, or their parent they're looking after, or they could be having a massage and their phone switched off. You don't know. So you assigning that meaning, or they haven't messaged me back, that means that I'm not good enough or I'm not important.
Right.
That's ridiculous thinking when you look at it. It's just one meaning that you've assigned because you are already feeling not good enough about yourself in the first place.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Because I was that way, in the past, with my son hubby, whenever he don't call me or text me or anything. But now I'm like, okay, he ain't text me. Okay, he's busy.
Exactly.
Or he out of town, or for another job or whatever. So
isn't that great?
I know in my heart, like, okay, I'll hear from him soon, which I normally do. Exactly. So that's something that you got to, tell yourself, like, okay, this person's busy. I'll, hear from that person whenever.
Exactly, and that's a form of assigning meaning that doesn't injure you.
Right.
It helps you. Your thought helps you to cut him some slack, to remind yourself he's not just there for you. He has got a life. He has got other things to do. And you don't go into that when they finally text you, you go, why didn't you text me? And you get into that sort of awful conversation about, I'm not good enough and I'm going to text from the place of I'm not good enough. Why didn't you message me? What have you been doing? And then you're suspicious and you're paranoid and you're crazy. Doesn't help.
No. I mean, we all human. I know, of course, you can't, help it, but you just have to tell you. So you just have to, calm yourself down.
You got to do it for yourself, and it's self-reassurance. Self-reassurance.
And also
you're not a child anymore. We're adults. We've got to do it for ourselves.
No. Exactly. And also I have people email me like, oh, if I let go of my specific person, doesn't mean I'm stop loving them. No. You
No.
just let go, the detachment and the resistance,
And
after you,
the addiction.
give everything in the addiction. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the obsession
Uh,
and the neediness
yeah.
and, just all the negative stuff that you got in your head, just let, everything go.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it is practice, it isn't
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that just happens. You do have to practice. You do have to change your thinking. You've got to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to try something different because I'm creating anxiety for myself, or I'm creating fear, or now it upsets my stomach and I can't eat, or I can't sleep,
Right.
or I can't this, or I can't that. I can't focus at work. I get that one a lot. I'm at work and I can't focus, and
Right.
that you can't work and you can't think and you can't eat. That's madness. You've got to
Yeah.
think. You've got to work on this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Exactly. And yay! We're going good. We're going good so far.
Well, it's a good subject, isn't it? It's not as if
Yeah.
we don't have anybody that doesn't want to know about this stuff. This stuff is one of the biggest topics ever. Is this stuff? People feeling they just don't feel secure. They don't feel at peace. They don't feel loved. They don't feel good enough.
Right.
This is an epidemic. It's everywhere. And the thing is, I coach people from all over the world. It's not just in the US or Australia, or this is in Europe. It's in UK. It's in Saudi Arabia. It's in Kuwait. It's in Iceland. I've coached people from all those places. They've all got the same thing. So it's
Oh
global.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your YouTube is on. You about to say it's on global now. You can take it all over nationwide. Like they see you on TV. You never know. Yeah, that's true. So, and also another thing that I kind of got asked almost a lot too is the timing.
Yeah.
Like, if I do this meditation, will work because this person's birthday is coming up, or I
Yeah.
want to have a date with this person in this month, for their birthday, or this and that. And I basically just tell them the only thing I can tell you all is just give it a try and not worrying about the timing.
Yeah, I agree, because timing most of the time creates anxiety and pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you've got that going on, it doesn't happen, because it's the feelings that's handbrake the manifestation.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Timing's okay if timing is in setting a time. I'd like this to happen by this time. You can do that, but you've got to ask yourself, is it going to create more pressure for me and is it going to bring up anxiety? Or do I think, oh, yeah, I can do that by the end of the year. It's only May. That's a good amount of time. I can believe that. I can relax into that. If you can do that, no problem. But you've got to be looking at yourself and saying, can I really do that earnestly in a relaxed way? As soon as you start feeling any anxiety about time limits or time pressure, time dates, you're not helping yourself.
Right.
So you've got to ask yourself, can I do it in a relaxed manner by that date? Or if I can't, it's best to just let it go. I do find though, Monique, that people that want time, I really want this by this time, are people that are trying to get over there too quickly to try and get something from someone still. Most of the time. I won't say always. Some people are really in a good self-loving state and they're just having a bit of a play with the law of attraction. Say, hey, let's see if I can do this. I'm relaxed, but I'm not going to be unhappy if it happens or doesn't happen by that date. If you can do that, you're in a good state of mind to be able to do it. But if you are really anxious, then no. You're going to probably hinder yourself. And if you all say, how can I do this within a short time? Those are people that still are not comfortable over here. They're not at peace over there here. They're not relaxed over here. If you're still trying to get over there and that place looks better than over here, you're still trying to get something. And if you're still in get mode and you're not in give mode, you're not going to create it. You're still, the energy flow is still about taking. It's not about releasing and giving. The energy flow is really important. The giving is really important. The relaxedness is important. The peace is really important. People think it's about, I got to get my specific person. I got to get a relationship. I got to get more money. I got to get my health into gear.
Right.
If you're still thinking of it that way, you've still missed the whole point of like what Esther says about allowing. She says it a million times. It's the art of allowing, it's the art of allowing, it's the art of allowing. But people still go, I got to get over there fast.
Yeah.
And when you're in that, you're still missing the I'm happy over here now part.
Right.
And the thing is, once you understand I'm happy over here now part, I can be happy with or without that thing. That's when you get it, is when you get to that place.
Exactly. It's all about gratitude of what you have, like right now.
Yeah.
And once you grateful what you have right now, you can get the things that you wanted, like you said, like money, a house, a new job, or try to sell your house, or clothes, or things like that, you know, and improving your health, you will get everything that you want, as long as you got to be grateful for what you have, whether if it's a small house or an apartment, or just got one phone, or I don't care if you just have just bread or milk and cheese in the house. I mean, at least you're grateful that have a roof over your head, things like that.
Exactly right. Glass half full rather than half empty.
Yeah, half empty.
Yeah, look at the glass half full wherever you are, and train yourself to do that over and over and over again. If you can do that, then more will be given to you.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm trying to think. What else? I also you have some people like, okay, I did my self-love, I did my meditation, and then they like, okay, my specific person is with someone else.
Yep.
Or they about to get married, or this and that.
Yep. What do we tell them?
We tell them,
well,
if they find out, if that specific person that is either with someone else or about to get married, they're like, okay, like what happened? Like I did my self-love, and I did like 2 or 20 times a day. They'd be like, okay, what happened? Like,
well, Neville, I think, says it the best. Everything has its appointed time. It's not in your timing, and it's not in your packaging, as in it's not going to happen exactly how you think and when it should happen, you think it should happen. It's not you that keeps score of, I've done enough self-love meditations, I've done enough affirmations, this should have happened by now. It's not you that has the control of that. You send it out, the universe decides when you're done or when you're ready. It's just how it works. So if that's happened to you where you're in that situation that you just mentioned, you got to go, okay, if this is a situation, then what does that tell me about me? If I've got someone I want to be with and they're with someone else, I have to work on I'm second best, because the evidence is telling me I'm second best. So that means I must have that active within me. So I've got to work on I'm first best, I'm loved, I'm lovable, I'm secure, I'm deserving, I'm worthy, I'm important, I'm a priority, I matter. You've got to work on those kind of thoughts and feelings, because it's telling you that you don't have those thoughts and feelings within you by the evidence. Results will always speak louder than anything you say about yourself. If you say, oh no, I feel first best, but you got that situation going on, the evidence tells you that that's not true. You are definitely in I'm second best. If you want to be with someone that's with someone else, you're still sitting over here feeling I'm second best. You have to work on that, not trying to, interfere with what they're doing, because I never suggest that. You leave people alone and you work on your own stuff. So you got to look at what the evidence is telling you. What's the result I've got here telling me about me, what I'm thinking, feeling, and believing about me, about the situation, about men, about women, about money, about work, whatever it is that's unpleasant. You got to go, what am I thinking, feeling, and believing about that this is where I'm sitting still in this position with that right here.
Okay. That is true. And also another thing, I don't know if you have clients, email you like, couple of times, like I'm getting tired, doing meditations, like every single day, this and that, or whatever meditation I do is it's not working, in their favor. I mainly tell people, like, if you feel like it's not working, I tell them just take a break, like a couple of days. I mean, you don't have to do it, every day.
No.
Yeah.
No, I agree, Monique. I think you need to take a break, especially if you're starting to get mentally tired. But also, it's not just doing meditation, it's carrying the state of being. So if you feel poor, you've got to get into the state of I'm wealthy or I'm free. Mm-hmm. So if you can do that and take that with you, talk to yourself like you would if you were in that situation of having money.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I love having money. Money comes in faster than I can spend it. This is the best financial day of my life. I love money. Money loves me. You start taking that with you as you're moving around, driving, washing the dishes, showering, whatever. You take that with you. You don't have to spend the whole day in meditation. You do your meditation in the morning or at night, and then the rest of the day you try and think thoughts that support what you want, rather than, I don't have any money. Where's the money going to come from? How am I going to pay that bill? I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay my rent. So you're in anxiety, biting your nails. That's not going to help you get what you want, you see.
Yeah, exactly. Really exactly, because that's one of the things. Well, to me, I manifest money like little by little, but I'm still working on, manifest, big money, enough for me to pay most of my debt bills and enough money, for me to travel and other things going on. And I want to also want to help my mom, my sister, whatever they need. And my twin hubby, stuff like that. So so I know in my heart that it will be done.
Yeah, it will be done.
It may take a little time, as I thought.
Sometimes I think rather than thinking about money, you think about what you would do with it. That makes it more real, because money's just paper and metal. It's really got it's nothing. It's really nothing apart from what it does for us because of the meaning we give it. Money is freedom. Money is giving me things that I need, things I can buy for myself, for other people. So if you start imagining giving it to your mom, giving it to your sister, having all your bills paid, that you've got your suitcase packed and you're ready to go on a trip, that has more meaning because it's what it translates as to what it gives you. That has been something that's worked well for me, thinking about the end results rather than just money in my wallet really doesn't, so what? It's just paper. So doing that gives it a more of a emotional charge to then manifest it.
Oh, yeah. Like think about, maybe the type of trip that you wanted. Or maybe a house that you really want, like the structure or things like that, Those are the things that you can, live in the end result.
Definitely. And living in the end is what works. You walk through the house 3D. You open the front door. You see the kitchen, what color it is. You walk up the stairs. You go and see the bathroom. You love the big shower head. There's a bath. You love having a bath. You like having a cup of coffee or a cup of tea when you're in the bath. So you imagine all these things and it makes it more real.
Or the flooring,
do you like
or the backyard or something, or you can think about, you want to have your outdoor cookout or something.
Exactly.
I just tell people, be creative. Like, how do I, manifest this? And I just give them like suggestions, what they could do as far as living in the end results. I'm like, do this, do that, imagine, you paint the house or something, or you talk to a realtor, about the floor plan, in your house, what you want to, get it done or something like that. Or just picture the trip that you wanted, like Hawaii, you just picture the water, things like that, or picture the hotel that you want to stay in. And, I just tell people, be creative. That's, create, what you want. You create anything that you want.
Yeah. And make it fun.
Yeah, make it fun.
Make it fun, like anything, make it fun. So, get on Google Earth, get on Google Maps, get on,
Yeah,
put in uh, Bahamas images and have a look at what it looks like to go there. So it's
yeah,
go to the travel agent and get the brochures and stick them on the fridge. Like, try and do
yeah.
as much stuff as you can. And you can create vision boards and all that stuff. Get it in your eyes. Your images, constant. What you focus on, you receive. So the more you focus on it, the more you look at it, the more you imagine it, the more it has to come into the foreground.
Like in your third eye.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the thing is, I want to explain this a little bit. We think it's conscious creation, and we talk about it as being conscious creation. We create stuff. But the thing is, everything's already created. You're actually just selecting one option of all the different possibilities. So you going to Cape Verde, you going to Mauritius, you going to Australia, you going to UK, and you going to London, you going to Africa, all those options already exist, but you're going to pull the one that you want to go to into the foreground by packing your suitcase, putting your passport on top of it, getting your clothes ready, having your brochures around you stuck on the treasure map or the vision board, and you start to bring that selection towards you. It's already in existence. It's just what you select through your thought, your belief, and your focus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm very good. That's one of the things I was very good at is the visualization.
Yep.
I can see things clearly of what I want in life. And it did took me a minute at first when I first started law of attraction, but as soon as I got to practice it, and it's like I can really see it, what I want. I'm like, okay, this is, really cool, to see myself and, to see my family, in the mix, and my twin hubby in the mix, things, to see anyone like my friends, things like that, whatever I want, to do, in life and everything. So it's, really nice. But you have some people, as I can't see anything. I mean, sometimes it's not to see the actual person as you imagining it. It's about the presence, like what the person looked like, what they smell, or their hair, or their clothes, things that what it's like. You just gotta just feel their presence. And visualize.
And also, Monique, some people aren't very visual, so that's okay.
Right, yeah.
You can still go into imagination and hear the person's voice. So you use sound.
Yeah.
Use your imaginal ears. You don't have to use your imaginal eyes. So there are different ways. If you're not visual, you can feel something. Like if you had to feel an orange, you would know how that feels. It's kind of a bit rubbery. It's got little dents in it. You can close your eyes and you can imagine feeling the orange. So you can use that way of imagining, or you can use, I know how it smells. So you go into an imaginal scene, you don't see the orange at all. You just know when you break that skin, that citrus smell, you can use smell. So it depends on what you're manifesting. You can pick different senses. You can do sight. If you're not visual, you can hear, you can taste, you can touch. Just use the ones you're good at. People will be naturally better at one of them. That's just how we are. Some people are very touchy-feely. They can instantly connect with things through touch. So use what you're good at.
Exactly. Yeah. And the taste too.
And
the taste of, and the taste. If you have a taste for some food, like a steak or something, you can imagine, the taste of the steak, and the smell and the taste, and just just everything. Just know it's in your heart, and it's also in your mind and your spirit.
Amen. This is where we sing amen.
Yeah. Yes. Can I get an amen? Let the church say amen.
You know what? One of my things I really want to do is go to an African American church in the USA. That to me would just be so much fun.
Oh, hey, let me know. I can take you there. We can show what us African Americans, what we do, with church and everything, and
gospel.
see,
I want to hear the gospel church. I want to hear the singing. That to me, I really want to do that, and I want to go to Motown, where they created the Motown music in Detroit.
Oh yeah.
So those are two things I want to do that are on my list of manifesting things.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know a friend, and also she's one of your viewers that is from Detroit.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Sounds like a little connection, a little golden link in the chain.
Yeah, so I may let her know, like, okay, be on the lookout for. Yeah, she's coming into your city. She'd be like, what? Really?
Yeah. I grew up with Motown music, so it's definitely something that, because I lived in Canada at the time, so Motown music, Lionel Richie and the Supremes, Diana Ross, and
Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell.
Exactly. I grew up with all that, and I thought I want to go to Motown one day. That's my thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You should go.
I'll be going.
I'll let her know. I'm like, okay, be on the lookout for her. Yeah, she's like, where is she going? I'm like, I don't know. Like, send her an email, because she did say that she wants to come out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, my love, I'm going to have to go because I'm driving my mum back an hour and a half out of Sydney, and then I got to get back to Sydney on the same day. So I'm going to need to scoot. It's been really nice being on this side of the interview. Lovely.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, so nice interview and everything, and just let me know and send me a copy of it, and I'll upload it on my YouTube channel, and you can upload it on your YouTube channel. And
Monique, I'll say bye to everybody now, and then I'll stop the recording, and we can have a bit of a chat. Bye, everybody. Hope you enjoyed our interview.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy y'all interview. So I'm gonna say goodbye for now too. So see y'all on the next turn of my YouTube channel, and of course y'all want to get into Agnes' YouTube channel. I will post the link of her contact information if y'all want the coaching, just everything. I'll just put it in the description. So see y'all later. Have a good one.
Everyone.